Morning world, Hippy Trev here. Another beautiful day up here in paradise. Oh, the intro.
Hi, Hippy Trev here, and welcome to my channel. Hope you get something out of it.
So I've done quite a few miles on the bike since I've done the last oil and filter change. I think the last oil change I did was down in Victoria at Pete's place when brother Pete and Ray helped me get the oil filter off. We had to use his chain oil filter remover. Bloody Harleys, where they put their oil filters, is a pain in the arse. It's hard to get off, and they sort of like heat stick themselves to there. But anyway, so I think the last oil change I did was down in Victoria last year in around April. I think I've clocked well over 5,000 miles since then, and in the last month I've been up to Mount Morgan and back twice, and each round trip's about 140 plus miles. So in the last month I've probably clocked up close to 1,000 miles on the bike, so it's definitely well and truly overdue for an oil change. So, and I want to do a primary oil change as well and show you what oil I run into there. So and just first decks, I did it, mate. There's your sticker. See you in UNTs, mate, to the back of the boat. So along with all the other stickers that are on there. So yesterday's oil and filter change on the bike. So the first thing basically is to get it out of the shed. She's a bit squeaky. A little bit squeaky under there, but I don't think that's a problem. So my first step is to down in here is I'm going to take that unloosen that worm drive hose clamp, pull that plug out, and drain the oil from the oil tank. So yes, you actually used a bit of oil on this trip, and I'll get out some. As a friend once said to me, once your vehicles start using a bit of oil, it's definitely time for an oil change. The velocity has done its job. I've had this motor in the bike about what, 2.5, 3 years now. I've clocked well over 15,000 miles on this motor, second-hand motor I bought from Darren Cross. Hasn't used a drop of oil, and on the trip back from Mount Morgan last time and then going up and back this time, it's definitely used about this much oil. So that makes it well and truly overdue for an oil change. Hopefully putting the new oil in, she'll be back to not using oil again. Our postie is on the way around. I wonder if we have any prezzies in the mail. Now, the other thing before I get into it, actually I'll get into this and then I want to have a chat to you about camera cases. So first things first. First thing, oil tray. Can't see very well, so I need to undo this hose clamp. Screwdriver's a bit big for the job, but anyway. Right, loosen that hose clamp right off. And then pull this plug out. There we go. My old 84 used to just drain from here and put oil everywhere. These ones come with a long tube under there. So, right, that's the plug out. Top off. Now I'm just going to lean the bike over onto this jack here, so all the oil can drain out nicely. Now what I normally do is, or what we normally do is we take the bike for a ride, warm everything up, and then drop the oil. Well, I'm not doing that this time. I haven't started the bike. This is a cold oil change. The reason I'm doing that because everything's in the tank, nothing circulated through the motor. Same thing when it comes to draining the primary. There's no oil up through all the clutches and everything. I'm going to do a cold oil changer on this. All right, postage here, I'll be back.
Rightio, well, we're back, and I've got a letter, and I'm pretty sure inside that letter there is $5 and a self-stamped address envelope that I'm going to send a sticker off to Russell Russo down in Melton, Victoria. So, mate, your $5 arrived in the mail. I'm assuming it's $5 in there, and a stamped address envelope, and I will get the sticker in the mail today. Rightio, so getting back to what I was saying, I'm doing a cold oil change today because that means all the oil's already sitting in the bottom down here. Let's see that. All the oil sitting in here, it's not up all through here. It's all had time to drain and drain down into here, drain through the clutches. So I'll be draining that, and I also run transmission fluid in there, but I'll get back to that in a minute. All right, so there was $10 in there. So Russo obviously wants 2 stickers, so I'll get them in the mail to him today. I've got to go down and do, I've got to go and do SCS haul setup shortly. Rightio, let's get back to here. I need to get my torch, make sure that's all drained properly. Have a look down in there. Can't really see, but yeah, okay, that's all drained nicely. I'm going to let that keep draining. Might have just quickly throw the bike over. Interesting that it's not starting. That's strange, you didn't even fire up. Never had that happen before. I'm assuming because I haven't turned the fuel on. Anyway, we won't worry about that. So, rightio, we're just going to let that drain for a little while longer. The oil's very black. Now, the next thing I want to get onto is, I was having a chat to my daughter Ra, hey Ra, my beautiful daughter over in Perth. We're talking about these GoPro cases, how I keep snapping the legs off the bottom. I've got a few of these cases that I've broken the legs off. I've actually repaired one using that black Celastic glue, and it worked out really well. But it's going to be an ongoing problem, and the fact that even buying these cases are starting to get hard to get. They only come out of China. We can't get them here in Australia. So, yeah, it's sort of like, oh shit. And then she said, well, why don't you make one up that doesn't break, like out of something stronger? And well, I said, well, I don't have any manufacturing skills. And she said, well, all the people you know out there who watch your channel, surely someone out there is a fabricator. Well, that's a bloody good idea. So if anyone out there who watches my channel can make me 2 of these cases with the proper bottom legs out of a light alloy or something, that's something that isn't going to break, because where they sit on the bike, I've only got one case, but where they sit on the bike up here, I've got one here, I normally have one here. It normally sits there facing forward. Not only do they cop a lot of vibration, but you got to remember I'm doing 70 odd mile down, so there's a lot of stress on there, there's a lot of sideways stress. I've got that one tied off with speaker wire, so if this breaks, it's not going to go bouncing down the road. I've got it tied off via the squawk box. And they also have to have this bottom case for where the squawk box goes. So, and my very clever daughter said, well, why don't you ask a couple of people on your channel if anyone can manufacture me this case? Now, anyone who thinks they can manufacture a case out of a light alloy or something a lot stronger, email me, hippytrev@bigpond.com. I can actually send you one of my broken cases as a template, because what happens is, I'm holding the camera, the back slides out, so you, like that, so you put your camera in, then you slide that back on, holds the camera in place. So if anyone thinks they can manufacture me one of these cases with the squawk box, and so the slider goes in the case like that, locks in, camera's locked in. It's got a little tag there, like so. So if anyone thinks they can manufacture me a much better and stronger case, yeah, email me, hippytrev@bigpond.com. We'll get in contact, and I can actually send you one of these cases as like a template, and maybe you can make me up 1 or 2 cases that are going to last on the bike, because I'm going to keep repeatedly breaking these off. So yeah, big thanks to my awesome daughter Ra over in Perth for coming up with that idea. So rightio, that's still draining. I can drain. Now I've got the horrible job of trying to get this oil filter out down here. As old mate Dex said, with all the improvements Harley have done, they still put the oil filter down here, which is a bastard thing to get out. So when Matt put this on, but when I was down in Peace Lagoons the last time, we had to get a chain oil filter removal on here because no matter what we did, we could, oh, there we go, nice and loose. Rightio, beautiful. That's coming off nice and easily. I think the major secret to these oil filters is just don't put them on so tight that they heat themselves on there, which is exactly what they do. I've had some of these oil filters so stuck on here, no matter what you did, you could not get them off. So I remember when I did this last time, like down at Brother Pete's in Victoria, I put this oil filter on, I only just nipped it up hand tight and pretty much left it at that. There we go. Oh, there we go. And what I'll be doing, I'll be looking for gold filings in this oil. Rightio. That's out. Messy, but it's out. I'm not actually sure why she's throwing over like that and not starting. I'm hoping just because there's no fuel in the carby. Alright, so I've pumped all that oil out. I'm just going to let that drain. Go and have a cup of tea and come back to it, and then, well actually I might also just do the primary right now. I'll do the primary and we'll get this done. Let everything sit and just drain out and come back to it. Now, which Allen key is it? That one, I think. Yep, that's it. I hate undoing this Allen key. Sometimes feels like it's stripping. There we go. A little bit of metal filings on there, but overall pretty good, not really messy. But definitely due for an oil change. She's well, that was transmission fluid that was red, that is now black, so there's definitely a fair bit of clutch material in there. Rightio. Rightio, Welds, I'm just going to let everything sit and drain. I'm going to scoot down the street, post off Russell's stickers. He gave me $10, so obviously he wants 2 stickers. I've also got to go and drop in and see Jen at the second-hand shop about something else. So, rightio, Welds, I'll catch you when I get back, and I'm starting to put everything back together, put the fluids in, and hopefully the bike will start, because I've never thrown it over like that and it's never started, so hopefully there's not a problem sitting there that I don't know anything about. So, rightio, Welds, I'll catch you when we're putting all the fluids back in. Later, bye. Now, Welds, time to put everything back together, so just going to get a bit of brake cleaner in there, just clean all that off. I'm going to have a look at my oil quickly. No real gold filings. I'll have a better look in the oil filter shortly. So, where's my rag? Oh, I hope there's nothing going on with the bike while it didn't start. I'm just presuming because I didn't have the fuel turned on. So I hope that's all it was. I mean, the bike was fine. I rode in. On the way back from Mount Morgan, I rode in, parked the bike, and that was pretty much it. So, all right, bit of oil on the ring. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Oil up your ring. Go up to Harley sometime and get some, geez, the wires have come off me stator there. The covering on my stator wires is completely exposed. The tape I used has the tape I've used come off my stator wires, but it hasn't caused a problem. So now, where's me? This I'm just going to give this a bit of a I'm just going to give this oil filter just a little bit of a nip up with my eye thing. I don't want it on too tight because I want to be able to get off again. But that was too loose, so certainly don't want them leaking. That should be plenty tight enough. Rightio, that's done. Yes, my my stator wire down here. All the covers come off. All the, but it's still charging, so we're not going to muck with it. Let's get me plug back. Let's get me plug back in, done up, and oil in the oil tank. Grab this hose here. Come on, go in there. Right. Plugs back in the oil tank. Now what I have to do is just get that hose clamp tightened up. The screwdriver's way too big for the job, but hopefully it'll work. There we go. Doesn't have to be overly tight. There goes the glasses. Rightio. That's that done. Poor old bike needs a bit of a wash. She's certainly done some miles. Russell, your sticker's been sent down to Victoria for you, mate. That's done in the mail. Someone asked me the other day, is my bike a top or bottom end breather? No, that's not. The bike's a top end breather, not a bottom end. The old bottom end breathers, they used to dump oil underneath the gearbox. So I'm putting in 20W50 fuchsia oil. I'm putting about 2 or 3 litres to start with. Nice, nice clean oil. I just spilt it. Got on good. Oh yeah, that's up to the top. Pretty close to it anyway. It's pretty close to full. And of course the oil level will drop once I run the bike. As the oil will drop a bit. And of course as I start and run the bike. Yep, she's full. Because the oil filter will take up a bit. Now, let's hope she starts. I haven't done the primary oil yet. I'll do that in a minute, but I just want to see that she starts and runs now. I'm hoping it was just that I had no fuel in it. That's all smudge. Right, hopefully she'll start and run without spewing oil everywhere. There we go. Oil level's gone down, as you'd expect, filling up the oil filter. Needs a wash. Rightio, let's get the oil level up to level. To do that, rightio, to get the oil level up to level, I'm just going to bring my jack in, bring it over. Do that again. Oh, this is a bit of a side stand on this thing. Right. get the oil up to correct level. Right. Got the bike resting on the side stand there. It's a little bit over this way. Oh, I literally can't see because of the sun. Where's my torch? Right, I'm looking down. I can just see that it needs a dribble to be full. Just a dribble to be full. That is full. That's completely full. Oil level's 100% right. Just level the bike up a little bit more, just to make sure. Oh, actually, no, that's not full. There's a little bit. Okay, no, she's not full. Needs some more oil. Fuck. I can handle this, Jack. Thought the bike was going to go over then. Let this jack down a bit. Yep, that's full. Yep, that's full enough. That's good. Rightio, engine oil is full. 24,952 miles. I'll go and record that in my book. Speedo says 24,952 miles, so I'll record that in my book against the old miles I had on the bike. Right, now we do the primary. I want the bike upright for this. There we go. Rightio. So that's the oil that came out. Now that was red when it went in. It is now black. So first job, let's get the drain plug in. I mowed my lawn yesterday, so I've got bloody grass everywhere. So first job, let's get this drain plug in. And done up and not over tight. Last thing I want to do is strip the casing. Oh yeah, that's the drain plug in. Now I need to get the derby cover off. And there's one key less. Bike should be over just a little bit more. But that won't matter. Rightio, let's get the derby cover off. Wasn't showing you. Right now, we're just taking the derby cover off now. Alright, that's the derby cover. That's its big paper gasket. It says towards clutch. Rightio, let's get some oil. Rightio, I've got no transmission oil here. I've got to go down the street and get some. Rightio, worlds. I've just come back from a flying run down the street. Got me gender neutral fluid. Well, they call it tranny fluid anymore. The fucking LTG, that idiot fucking gay fucked up community gets all upset when you call it tranny fluid. So it's now known as gender neutral fluid. Fuck the gays. Well, not literally, but anyway. Rightio. Now, I used to run 20W50 in my primary here, which is all my clutch gear. It's all clutches and chain and primary. I used to run 20W50 in there. And then I had a bloke help me do a tyre change once, and we were just chatting away, and he says, so what do they put in transmissions? I said, well, they put in, tranny fluid, gender transmission fluid. I said, yep. He says, so what's in transmissions? And I said, well, there's clutches and all sorts of things. I need a torch. And he looked at me and said, well, what do you think's in your primary? And I said, oh, clutches and things. He said, that's exactly right. He said, your primary and your clutch life will be extended by running this fluid in there. Right, so I'll just, let's just leak them from there, hopefully. Yep. So I've just put enough oil in there that there's about that much of the clutch dipped into the oil. So I'll just pull all this back, because I can use this in the boat on the transmission. Messy. I'm so messy when I work on it. So I put about a litre in there. About 1 litre oil went into there. So I put 1 litre oil in there. Now we put the derby cover back on, and that's the oil service absolutely done. Now you can probably hear me huffing and puffing and carrying on. You probably think, oh God, this guy's out of breath all the time. Well, I sort of am, but it's not actually that. Just gonna wipe the derby off. What it is where I've got the microphone attached to me. Where I've got the microphone attached to me here, it's right up next to where I huff and puff and breathe. So it sort of accentuates my breathing. So it sounds like I'm gasping for air every 5 minutes. Well, I'm not quite gasping for air, but it does accentuate the sound of me gasping for air, that's for damn sure. So, and after just doing a flying run down the street and back to get me gender neutral fluid, and went to see Kimmy at the hardware. She didn't have any, unfortunately, so I had to go around to JJ's and buy my oil there, which I don't mind so much, but I tend to support Kimmy at the hardware. She's just starting out. I mean, the hardware's been there for decades, but she's just recently bought it, and she's just recently taken over it. And I prefer to give Kimmy my money, because she always looks after me. She gives me stuff, and she's just a really good person in this town. And ever since I've been in Biggedham, and she's been behind the counter before she even bought the hardware store, she has always looked after me really, really well. So. But unfortunately, she didn't have the 4 litres of gender fluid in there that I needed, so I went round to JJ's and bought off them. I mean, I don't mind, but I'd rather give Kimmy my money before I give anyone else my money in this town. And it's just the way it is. But when one place isn't available, you go to the next and you just source what you have to. So, rightio, well, that is the whole job done. That is all the fluids changed. I'll be checking in here. This is my oil filter from, it was fairly clean when I put it together, so I don't think there's any chunks. That does look like a chunk of metal right there. Oh, there's no gold filings in there, and it does feel to be some chunks of metal in there. Some of that could be from when the last engine blew up. Maybe this container wasn't as clean as I thought it should have been. But there are no gold filings, but there are some odd, strange bits of metal in there, so hopefully that's not a problem. Alright, well, I'm just going to wheel the bike back into the shed. It's pretty warm out here. Probably going to burn my ass on the seat. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Burn my balls off. Let's get the bike back in the shed. go, starts and runs the way it's supposed to. Rightio, well, so that's the fluid change on the Harley done. I do have to do a oil and filter change on the boat at some stage. I think that oil additive, that zinc additive I put in there has not done my engine any good, and in fact the motor's actually using oil where it never used to, so that's something else to look into. So, excuse my huffing and puffing. Like I said, the microphone's really close to me, so that's why it sounds like I'm breathing so hard. So, as I said earlier, anyone who thinks they can make up me some better GoPro cases, I'd be really interested in that. Just drop me an email. Like I said, hippytrev@bigpond.com. Drop me an email, and I can organise sending you one or two of my broken cases that you might be able to use as templates to make a case. To anyone wants a sticker, Hippy Trev, 21 Tarn Street, Bickerton, 461 Queensland, Australia. I do take American dollars and English pounds. I even take Kiwi money. So, anyway, well, that's it. Job done for the day. Hopefully the bike doesn't use oil. Might do a run over to Scary Barrow sometime, catch up with Cute Joe. It's been a while since I've been over there. Maybe even go to the naughty shop. It's been a while since, well, it's been over a week since I had a naughty stick, so been pretty good. Anyway, well, that's it. It's nice and warm out here. I've got to get all cleaned up, wash down, and get ready to go and help pack up the bingo hall as part of my SES duties. And I don't want to be covering oil and grease when I go handling the tables and get all that job done. So, rightio, worlds, stay safe, keep your nose in the breeze, and I will catch you later. Bye.